Welcome back to the Gemini channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Gemini. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. Do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why everything's playing out the way that it is in your relationship, why you are attracted to someone that triggers you, what type of soul relationship is this, and what you could possibly do to shape shift the energy, because there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on your core beliefs. Your core beliefs are determined by the experiences that you live. The thing is that we form habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with those traumas, with those experiences, which are traumatic. And those energies are held within our subconscious mind, making us a magnet for those same types of energy. So until you integrate the spiritual lesson, which is just see what you're doing different, and then transmuting the negative energy, you cannot raise your vibration. You will continue to get the same spiritual lesson over and over and over again, making you perceive that that is the real reality, the real truth, when that's a that's a truth, but it's an imbalanced truth. It's out of alignment with your true self. The true self is the higher self. The higher self is the God part of self. It's universal energy. It's made up of universal energy and the energy of love, unconditional love. So we wouldn't understand what those higher levels of consciousness were or what they even look like. So we have to depict those characters through our core beliefs, needing to be in alignment with unconditional love, such as forgiveness, perseverance, vulnerability, all those energies, compassion, and the list goes on and on. However, most of the time we're stuck in fear, resentment, betrayal, victimization. So again, integrating the spiritual lesson means stopping the karmic looping of the same types of karmic experienced themes. So today we're going to jump in. We're going to see how your connection is affected by the spiritual wounds that the both of you have and what the spiritual significance is for both of you. Because, like I said, there is always many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness means that if you want to raise it, that is, means that you have to integrate these higher levels of consciousness, which are those character traits that come from unconditional love. All right, so the word of the video is going to be sorrow and sadness because you saw it just kind of like slipped out. And I never believe that there's any mistakes. I feel like everything's in divine order, even when it doesn't look like it is. That's the whole point of understanding the shadow. We think that it's not supposed to happen, especially if someone comes into our lives and they make an impact on our life, but in a negative way. It's it's from the spiritual perspective, it just means that you learned a different perception. It doesn't see it as good or bad. We see it as bad. So I'm feeling like you're connected to someone that is really sad. They're really sad. They're really sorry about the way that they treated you. I feel like they're starting to see you differently. I'm going to pull another card to just bounce off this card. A reactive. So they're sorry and sad because they got they got triggered. And because they got triggered by you from a conversation, they didn't, they reacted in a very negative way. That they kind of wish that they could go back in time and fix what they said because you detached from them and they didn't really know why you ever detached from them. They just saw you as being reactive. They saw you as being reactive because they weren't aware of what they did. They weren't aware of what they said at the time that could hurt you. and you responded to actually what they said. So I feel like this person said something like, we don't have a relationship like that. We're not that close. Like making it like you were a vague person in their life, and their energies were in alignment with that attitude that they were displaying to you. So you were like, I don't need this. Screw that. And you left. This person didn't want to look at anything for a long time. They were in denial. They, if anything, they thought that you needed to apologize to them because all they saw was the reaction. And the reaction was like, you said something, but I feel like whatever you said was correct. Like you called them out on their BS. You called them out on, like, what are you breadcrumbing me? Like you called them out on how they were making you feel, because of what they were doing, and they got reactive. So they're sorry because they never came back to apologize. You held their feet to the fire. That pissed them off because it was almost like, who were you? Because in you standing your ground, you're showing how strong you are. You're showing this person, you're not all that. You are not all that to think that you're going to come and disrespect me. So this person is sorry because they know that they disrespected you. You called them out on their BS. Virgo's in there. You called them out on their BS, and now they're in a place of not knowing how to come back, not knowing what to do. It's like they procrastinated, they waited a lot of time, they played a lot of games. I feel like they ran around with a lot of different people. They had very indulgent behavior to try to keep themselves occupied. They weren't thinking about you. They were like almost like that, screw you. Who do you think you are? I'll never talk to you again. I'll never come back to you again. Hi, I know that you'll suffer without me. And that this is this person's attitude. This person became self-righteous. They became, and you walked away from this person. And the thing is, you were never even looking at them. You just were like, after they did what they did, you were like, okay, God, I understand who you are. And you put more energy into yourself. So this person thought that they were being spiteful. They thought that they were punishing you. They thought that you were going to be really emotional and have a lot of anxiety over what they did. That's not what happened. Again, like I said, they became self-righteous, if anything, because you confronted them. They wanted you to be the martyr. That's what they thought. Oh, it's okay. What else do you need? Oh, I'm sorry. Like they expected you to like apologize for speaking a truth, for confronting them about how they were treating you, when really this person turned around and told you, you're not that important to me. And when you looked and saw how much energy that they actually gave you in comparison to everybody else, you said, that's a truth. That's a truth. It's like this person expected you to fight for them. They expected you to like lay down and die. Like I just heard that song in my head. Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I. Like that was you. You were like, not me. I don't know who you're talking to, but not me. I don't know who you have me confused for. And that's the thing that you were like. This person tried to do a lot of things to knock you off your game, to knock you off like your self-confidence. They thought you were going to be unaware, but you were able to see because you have good intuition. So even if you didn't see, because you wanted to see something, you wanted to see that this was a soul connection, you wanted to see that they were your person, you wanted to see that. You couldn't help but not see it because of the gut, your gut feeling, your intuition. Saw right through their illusions. And you got tired of it. You're like, I don't want to live like whatever this is. Because the illusion is that they're so important, that they're so big and important that you're going that you want to be with them. So they because now they're going to run around with all these different people, give everybody else a lot of time right in front of your face too, tell you that you're not that important to them, and then hold back and not give an apology. And understand at the same time, you can guarantee that this person's life is a shit show. Because people that do this to somebody, their life usually looks crazy. They have a lot of other drama going on in their life. Rebellious. Like I said, it's like just to be, I'm not going to go along with crowd. It's like they try to create this persona that they're tougher, meaner, um, don't care, reckless, and reckless where, again, not caring about how they're treating you, not really caring about how they treat themselves, addictions, running around with a lot of people, uh, playing games, playing mind games. And again, all the while it's feeding their ego. Their ego is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like, this rebellious again is almost like needing to appear different, but I see it as like stronger, tougher, like I'm more exciting type person. People don't need to act like this to be exciting. It's again, what this is a fake persona that they created. And really what matters is, again, what matters is what's going on inside. So this is what the person does. And what they normally do is they attract saviors. Because what happens is that everybody eventually sees that this person is hurt. Because they're not really, no one's like that mean all the time. No one like it walks around and they're just rebellious, needing to be different, needing to create illusions and perceptions in order to seem, more powerful. It's like over time everyone sees it because everyone has intuition. The more time that you spend with someone, the more that you're going to see it. So then what happens is in their relationships, the people see how broken they are, and this person is very codependent. So they never ask for help, but they play the game. And if you're connected to them, so again, they expected you to be the savior. They wanted you to be the savior. They wanted you to take more responsibility over their life than they take over their own life. And they, again, were not going to give you anything because they can't obviously give themselves anything. And what's underneath when a person is rebellious, what that really is that they're angry. And they're angry because they perceive that they actually need a savior and because they have to create illusions. It's stressful. You have a lot of anxiety when you have to keep your lies up. I mean, that's really what we see here, that this person is creating a lot of illusions to make you try to perceive that there's somebody that they're not. But what you would feel over time is you're angry, you're hurt, you're wounded. And that's how, they get people to do too much. That's how they get people to they're being blind. It's like you're like that's what happens. It's like people normally wind up giving this person, because they can't see, they're blind to the manipulation of, I'm going to come in angry and reckless and rebellious. So this might be someone that goes to a bar every day and drinks a lot and then is like this very reactive and sporadic energy where you never know. It's a very unpredictable energy, okay, where this person will do something at any given time, and it's because it comes from a manic energy. And the manic energy is because this person's imbalanced, and they're imbalanced because they create illusions of how they want you to perceive that they are. So Again, but that is only reliant if you're going to be blind to their manipulation, you know, of their dark moods. It put you in a dark mood. It's like this person has like it just uh spells of despair, depression, and anxiety. And like I said, it's because they're not coming from their true self. They're all over the place. There's a manic energy, and we see manic energy. I I didn't want to use the word bipolar because I feel like it's so broad, but we're seeing a lot of bipolar energy that where the dark moods come from. There's high highs, low lows, very sporadic, and you never know, especially if a person is not medicated. So I feel like this person creates experiences that are in alignment with that energy, but then also like they're addicted to that energy. They are probably also not aware of how much they contribute to the experiences that play out in their life. But this is it, you can see how bad that would be. It's like again, if you're with somebody that high highs, low lows, it's like manic, depressive. They're all over the place and they are going to be reckless, they're going to be rebellious, they're also going to be somebody that is just very unpredictable and just slow to act because this person gets too much in their own way. It's like they're what throws them off is that they're not transparent. They're not able to emotionally open up. So what they do is they run around and they again get energy from other sources outside of them, which we saw. That's through other people, and it's just through just addictive, rebellious, reckless energy. And so they do that. And then what they do that keeps their head busy so that they don't come talking to you, so that it doesn't make them feel insecure. Because I feel like you were waiting for this person to like step it up and show you something. It's like, and in a way, they knew that but they purposely didn't do that. Instead, I feel like this person is very dark. And so, in a way, they wanted to control and manipulate you to put you in a space where you would be like almost like submissive to their energy, keeping you limited, right? And then this person is limited. They they're still holding on to so much trauma of whatever they went through because that's what happens a lot of times. Yes, we can be born and inherit bipolar energy, but it usually is because we're born from somebody that's bipolar and then we live in an environment that creates that dynamic. And then the person goes back out into the world and they create the same dynamic that they grew up in. So they had that DNA to begin with, but DNA is only 5% inherited. It's your environment that creates your reality. So what happened is that this person had a mother or a father that was bipolar, and I feel like it was their father that was bipolar, and they inherited that trait. However, it doesn't get activated unless they're in the environment. So the environment that they were born into had that, but then they got out of that environment and created a more sound and structured way. So the bipolar was almost like dormant. But then once they recreated by cheating, running around, being reckless, it activated that bipolar. So you're going to see high highs, low lows, just very feeling limited, like not like just very dark moods. A lot of procrastination, a lot of getting in their own way, a lot of because of the fear. And so what happens is that I feel like for a long time that while this person's been in separation, they've been in this type of bipolar mood. So they've lost a lot of time. They've lost a lot of space. They don't meaning that they don't even realize. It's like because it's like it's almost like a cyclone of energy that of negative energy that this person is like almost like a tornado. Everything that they touch just turns like it just gets destructed because they've created so much negative energy. So again, they are upset because they left things up in the air with you. Remember, they walked away being mad thinking that you were going to return, but you never said that it was over. They never said that it was over. There's been no closure. So this person is upset about that. So, which, I think it's mainly because they feel like you're getting away. I feel like this bipolar energy, there's a need to control. There's a need to, obsess and control. And the fact that they don't have access to you now bothers them because they're not in a good space. Again, this bipolar energy, this is why underneath it, this person is so codependent. And again, just lost. It's like they feel like they have that people abandon them. But really, this person abandons themselves. It's like they need to get the help that they need instead of running into relationships, trying to find people to fix it. And by being with people that don't know their value. Because what happens is that they think that they're so cunning. They think that they can outsmart. But what happens is that it's like they might be able to do that with one person, but I feel like this person has created a lot of karma, a lot of negative karma. And it's almost like they're lost because I feel like everything has fallen apart within this person's life, which is why it kind of like activated that bipolar energy where they're in like dark moods and and you might have seen that. You might have seen a little bit of that when you were dating this person or when you were just hanging out with this person, but not to the extent. You would see that they would just get triggered easy or they would be moody or but not to the extreme high highs, low lows. Like this person needs to like really begin to start by forgiving themselves. Now that might sound weird, but understand this is a spiritual issue. This person grew up in that environment. Yes, they might have had that DNA, but you can change your mind and your heart, but you have to change your mind. And it all starts with forgiveness. And I feel like for you, if you're connected to this energy, you need to say, where in my life do I need to forgive? Because you attracted this person that obviously could not treat you well because they were mentally sick. And so Spirit's saying, who in your life like was supposed to give you emotional support, but was emotionally or mentally sick. It's like you need to forgive that person. You need to let it go. You need to see things from a different perception. It's like because that will keep you bound to this type of energy, is what Spirit says. It's like you have to let it go. And it might start with forgiveness of self. You need to forgive yourself first. But at the root of all of this is that one core lesson, which is all about forgiveness. And like I said, I'm feeling like if you had this person come into your life, the reason why was because you needed to learn that lesson. Now, we'll see what they're doing now, and then we'll look and see why you connected to this person, why this person like came into your life. Yeah, they want a karmic contract. That's what it is. I feel like they might be in a karmic contract right now, which is connected to people that they don't really want to be bound to. It's like they're not happy. So they're because no one's ever happy in a karmic contract. There's usually one person that's stronger and like is very controlling and devours and oppresses the other person's energy, and the devours could just be like, you need to take care of me. Like their person's so needy. Um, Or it could be also like someone that's very controlling that says, you can't do that, you have to do this, someone that has too much say in your life. So again, we see the imbalance of a contract because a contract doesn't let you be your own person, doesn't allow you to think for yourself, have your emotions uh, validated, to be treated as a real person. You're treated more like a thing. You're treated more like, and I feel like this person is in that type of situation now where they might have been the dominant one at one point, but the roles have changed, so they're not happy. So that's part of like the why they've had time to reflect because someone is holding them captive and they're not happy. They have no real happiness. So again, being that they can't run around and cheat anymore or do anything that's like that, it's like I feel like their resources have been cut off, their life has changed. So this person has a very addictive personality that a lot of times just goes with the bipolar disorder. So I feel like they also might have an eating disorder, and that might just be like binge eating or eating out of boredom. It's like as a way to control, feeling in control, people tend to use food. People use food to suppress their emotions as well. This person like needs medicine for their bipolar. They need it. It's like whatever the situation that they're in right now is really creating that, and they need it's like, and they're trying to self-medicate through food. It's like, oh, because like they really thought that you were going to conform because they don't want to conform to the people that have them captive. But that's what's happening, which means that they're, again, bound to this karmic contract, which is why this person wanted you to conform to them because they're not happy, but they can stay in that situation if they have someone on the side because it's not what they want to do. So that's really what we see. They're still doing the same thing. They're stuck in a karmic contract. They're trying to control themselves. They are conforming. However, they would have wanted you to conform, or they're going to try it and you find someone on the side to conform to them, that's their issue. It's like they would rather be perceived as somebody that is like a martyr, someone that is helping like other people than to come from a place of, and well, the whole thing is coming from a place of lack. This person has a sense of lack, like there's something wrong with them. It's again when a person is bipolar and there's the high highs, lows, lows, they can feel it. They don't like how the medicine makes them feel a lot of times because there's an adjustment, there's a chemical imbalance. The chemical imbalance is because of these high stresses that this person creates within their life. So, we have to ask ourselves now, I feel you wouldn't have been able to attract this person into your life unless you grew up in that type of environment. That's my personal experience. I should have pulled what was on the bottom of the deck, but was when I saw was suppression. And it's like magic. First inner child card out for you, magic, anchor, water, disassociation, neglect, and organized chaos. All right. Oh, here I am. I'm like all over for this other deck. I'm going to pull two from this deck. Inner sanctuary, powerful voice. Okay, so believe it or not, I feel like as much as we see trauma here, like no support anchor, like we see like a father and a child. And so That's so usually it represents support, nurturing, but also like a block within that connection to father. Like there was a lack of support and lack of support because the father actually suffered from disassociation, and that's detachment. So it was like almost like your father, you felt like your father wasn't there. It's like your father checked out. So it might, or your father died at a young age, and you had this to deal with the trauma from like what it did to your mother. And your mom, I feel like, had high highs or low lows, high highs, low lows. So like it's the same thing, which which affected your unique individuality, that second chakra. The second chakra represents your passion for life, like who you perceive that you are. Um, it allows us to go with the flow of life because we have passions, we have fun things that we do, we connect to other people that we emotionally get fulfilled from. And that second chakra represents your emotional center, which is the water center. So again, because of the lack of support and then the imbalances that were going on due to that, it pushed you inside yourself, the inner sanctuary, right? It's like it enabled you to connect to the soul of yourself because living in that environment, you had to continually be able to rejuvenate yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to go on. It's like having like a dad die or check out, or it might be your mother that died or checked out emotionally, and then being stuck with a parent that was very emotionally imbalanced because they didn't know how to deal with that situation. And but it allowed you to find your magic. Your magic is your intuition, is your connection to God, it's your connection to your creative energy, your spiritual sovereignty, which allows you to create your heaven on earth. It allowed you to see the bigger picture in life, learn what unconditional love really is, and what it means to forgive. Spirit said, you didn't forgive. Even though you found your magic, you have to let go. It's like use your voice to express it. And maybe that might mean by talking about it and maybe talking about it, sharing about it, finding a platform, starting a platform. Like use your voice to express. It's like you have to still do something with that negative energy because it's not gone. It's you there were fragmented pieces of self. So even though you found your magic, there were other aspects of your life that were not working due to the neglect and due to just organized chaos, that living in an environment that, yeah, you made it work because you had to make it work. You know, you had no control over the family that you were born into, you know, whether your father got sick and just checked out after that sickness, became someone else, and now being stuck with another parent that, you know, was so emotionally out of touch with reality that everything was a trigger because they needed their own healing, and there was no healing. There was no healing back in the day. So they did the best that they could, and you did the best that you could. It was organized chaos. And no one could be there for you, the neglect, but it didn't matter. Push all your energy inside, and that's where the kingdom of heaven is. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. The child that survives, thrives, always comes out on top because they can make their visions into a reality. They can quantum jump into the reality. They can shape shift. They're earth angels because the parents weren't raising them. Spirit was raising them. They were led by their intuition because their little minds were not developed. They weren't developed yet to learn, and they couldn't learn. They were conditioned. in an environment to survive. So understand they have magic. And this person that you're connected to, if they would heal, they would find their magic. Because whatever the environment was that, again, made them grow up and was very similar to yours. And that's why this is a soul connection where you both were mirrors of what needed to be healed. And that's sometimes the only reason why a person comes into our life, is just to teach us, to heal us. It doesn't mean that we don't love. We do love that person unconditionally. It's an unexplained, I do love that person. I do have a connection to this person. I don't know why. However, I don't want to be with them. I might love and honor and respect them because of what they showed me, what I needed to learn about myself in order to clear myself of the effects of the psychological trauma that I went through. That's why Gemini. That's the only reason why that person came into your life. The only reason why. You need to say that the way that I just said it. That person only came into my life because I needed to learn. I release and I let go of this person because they can't fix it. Really, Spirit's saying, understand when you clear those spiritual blocks, you get more vitality. The vitality is the energy, the chi, the chi is prana, it's oxygen. Well, it's also spirit. It's the universe because we have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And the Holy Ghost is spirit and it's ubiquitous and it works through us. And it works through us when we're clear. When we're a clear conduit, we can let spirit speak through us. So we can then create our world. Spirit said you needed to release certain blockages within your root chakra to ancestral karma. This person also does. They did not learn. You did. You get to evolve. They don't. And it's again, because now you're on a different vibration because you've cleared blocks. So you're lighter and energetically you can receive more intuitive and psychic guidance. I'm going to leave that there, Gemini. I hope you resonated with this message. Let me know. Bye.